Alright, here's our stuff. Got a bunch of boxes under the tarp. There's my honey with her belly showing. There's all our stuff over there underneath blue tarps. We got tables. Got a bunch of tables here. You can see two there. There's our rolling thing. There's a bunch more tables stacked up under there. A bunch of tables. And we got our collapsible tent. Got a lot of boxes under there. And there we are. And there's Lauren. Oh, what a pretty face. And there's Sarah. That's her good side. There's my honey with her belly showing. Show me your titties, honey. Oh. Hey guys, digging the ditch here. Actually, hello Polka. Dog came to help. Digging for this year's garden. Get my shovel untangled here. There's the shovel. You can get an idea that the depth is about the depth of the shovel, which is someplace between 9 and 10 inches. So this runs about 4.5 feet wide and about 12 feet long, maybe 13. So I've dug down this far all the way across here and basically just turned the dirt over, tried to get all the grass off. What we're going to do is mix in some Miracle Grow, a couple of bags of Miracle Grow, and spread the dirt out. And then once it's spread out, we'll cover it all with black plastic because over the course of the year, I guess now, since we built the greenhouse, which you can see I've opened up the side here because last year it just got too hot. Our tomato plants went all the way to the ceiling, which is about, 7.5, almost 8 feet there. So in some places it went 8 feet. But what we're going to do is I'm just going to prep the soil and put the plastic down. And then the way this works is you secure the plastic in place and then you cut little crosses, little X shapes or whatever, wherever you want to plant something. And then ideally you'll put in plants that are not seedlings. In other words, they need to be past the seed stage. You don't want to do that under black plastic. And then this year I'm going to go ahead and put in a drip irrigation system. And I'm also we were going to do an aquaponics system, but not only was it just a lot of work to get started, it also left us with the task in an aquaponics system, you're growing fish and plants, and it left us with the unpleasant task of needing to then harvest the fish, which is not something either of us really wants to do. So anyway, we may go into an aquaponics system later on, but right now I'm looking at a Dutch bucket hydroponic system, which there's some great videos online. One guy, and I don't remember his name, apparently does homemade beer as well, and he's just so much fun to watch. But he's done several of the bucket systems, so I'm thinking that along the outside, this is about 23 feet long, if I remember right, on our... does that look right? That's what memory is. My memory tells me this is 23 feet from end to end on the greenhouse. And so my plan is to put at least half of it in Dutch buckets and then put tomatoes on the outside and I don't know what else, but climbing things do real well with it. And it's a hydroponic system. And so anyway, that's the plan out there. And then I've still got to clean out, got a raised bed there and over here, and then one more behind me. And this is the worms. We moved the worms into a larger container. They were just in, I've got it outside now, that red igloo cooler over there, which is about the same size, maybe a little bit bigger than this one. But we moved it into this, I don't know, I think there's about a 25 or 30 gallon container, and drilled holes in the bottom and then filled it with they just poured the dirt in, and it was pretty wet. So I have added some dirt on top of it, and they just love kitchen scraps. And what else? Our strawberries, interestingly, these are strawberries that we planted last year. We bought one container of strawberries, and it had like 5 plants in it, and the one hanging over there in the doorway just didn't make it. I don't know what the deal was, but these 4 have hung on through the summer of last year through the winter, and this one right here, no, this one, I just took out of the pot, pulled all the grass out, filled it back up with dirt, and repotted it again, and it's just going gangbusters. Now if it'll just give us some strawberries. So anyway, that's kind of what's going on. Got some mint. I don't know if this, I don't know, there it is. A little mint down there left from last year, and it actually grew up outside as well. So I got some there. We planted 2 or 3 kinds of mint plus some oregano, and the oregano never did very well. I think what I'll do this year is do just 1 basil plant, maybe 2 different kinds of basil, 1 plant each. Because last year I was just overwhelmed with basil. In fact, I've still got a big bunch of basil in the house that we dried and then cracked up. So I've easily got a year's supply of basil in there, if not more. And this is a trellis that was up here for the tomatoes last year. I'm going to improve on it this year and start with the trellis in advance. But I saw a great string system where you hang a string down from the top, and then you just use kind of little clamps, although wire ties or cable ties would work just as well, I do believe. Okay, that's it. Y'all take care. And remember, above all else, do no harm. When the previous owners of our home did the addition, they did a really great job of well, okay, so they did a really bad job of doing the addition. The good stuff that they did was that they put an addition on. However, if you can see this little curb right here that runs all the way down, if you were able to see it without the deck here, notice how the lines of the bricks, the deck is actually level, but notice how the bricks kind of go downward. The whole foundation is not cracked, but is actually 1.5 inches low in this corner of the addition. So the addition was done in a traditional lean-to style. And what they did for the ceiling was that at this end, the ceiling is about 6 inches thick, or that means the distance between the ceiling and the roof is about 6 inches. And that doesn't leave much room for insulation. So although they did put insulation in, so you got to give them credit for that, it really didn't do much good. Our summer utility bills were typically $500-600. So 2 years ago, I came up and I put on these 6-inch purlins. And a purlin is just a C-shaped piece of metal, and I'll show you one close up in a minute. So 2 years ago, I put purlins up here on a 30-foot stretch of the roof, and then we did blown-in insulation to fill the gaps, or to fill the cavities, and then covered it with what they call galvalume, which is a metal that has about a 2-inch riser every 12 inches on center. So we got that done and tied it into the existing second-story wall. And so right now, what I've just finished doing is coming in and putting, that's a 4-inch purlin laid on its side up there at the top, and then I cut a piece at an angle. There's a 4-inch purlin standing up in the middle, and then a 6-inch purlin here at the bottom, along with 6-inch purlins that run crossways to cover the last 22 feet. So what we're going to do, I have a roll of insulation on order that is 4 feet wide that will just be laid out in here, and then we'll put more of the galvalume on top of that. So I've held off for a long time doing it because I really couldn't figure out how I wanted to do this piece up here, but that's what I wound up with. So I had to cut this piece at an angle on the side. As you can see, it's 6 inches down here at the bottom, and it decreases to 2 inches there at the top. So we've got some stuff. I'm going to close these vents. I'll just rip these vents out, unless the metal just actually lays smoothly over the top. But I think they're too tall, because what those did was allowed for ventilation coming up from downstairs in the, this is the garage that I'm standing above now. And you can see what they did was they used roll roofing, and roll roofing comes in 36-inch widths, and so they have doubled it up so that you're actually getting an 18-inch width right now, and then they reused tar. So the roofing wasn't done too badly, but they only used half-inch plywood, which is not sufficient for a roof. All of the roofs I ever built, we used nothing less. In those days, you could get 3/4 inch. Now you can't get 3/4 inch plywood anymore. But here's, I told you I'd show you a purlin. You can see that what a purlin is they take metal and they bend up the sides and then bend over sort of a lip on it. And so that's a 6-inch purlin right there. So I've got a little bit of purlins left. Well, several pieces, I should say. Later today, we'll get all the tools down, and then hopefully next weekend we'll be able to get our metal up. And that should help keep the utility bills down even more this year. So that's it. And I just noticed we had added this window when we put in the when we remodeled the bathroom, and then I had to change out the window that was there a couple of years ago when we did the steel, and because the window that was there was not only a lousy window, but it was very tall and would have interfered with the steel, so I had to put in a smaller window and went with one that matched. At least that's a 3-foot wide window. This is a 4-foot wide window, and it's right above the jacuzzi tub in the bathroom. So that's about it. You can see we've got 2 vents here for dryers. The one on the bottom is the upstairs vent. The one at the top is the downstairs vent. I had added a laundry room upstairs several years ago. So that's it. All right. That's there's a look at the greenhouse, which I'm sure I've shown you in previous videos, and the electrical conduit carrying electricity in. All right, that's it. See ya.